Last section is going to be a footer section. So over here, we're going to make a comment for the footer. And then we're going to say that this is going to be a section. And over here, we're going to say ID. And this is going to be footer. And then we're going to say class. And over here, the class is going to be background. It's going to be dark. And it's going to be, again, it's going to have a padding 5, right? And as always, we're going to have a container. Say div class, and over here we're going to say container, and over here we're going to place a title, right? So we're going to go back over here, and we're just going to get a title somewhere, right? So where is our title? Somewhere on top probably. All right, so over here, and we're just going to write that this is going to be a footer, right? So we go over here, and we're going to copy this one all the way in the bottom. Where is our container? And you can see I missed out this one. So now we have it. And over here, we probably should change this one around. We're going to say white. And this is also going to be white over here, right? So now we have the footer one. And now the only thing is we really need to add just a font awesome icons. All right, so we're going to have to add another row. So we're going to say div class. Over here we're going to say row, and within the row we're going to say div class, and over here this is going to be column 12, and then we're going to say this is going to be text, and this is going to be center, and over here we're going to start placing the links, right? So the first one we're going to say that this is going to be href over here, and we're going to say that this is going to have a class, and we're going to say this is just going to be a button, right? And then we're going to do the thing, and we're going to put a font awesome icons, right? So we're going to say that this is going to be AI class, and over here we're going to say this is going to be fa Facebook over here, and we're going to say fa 3 times x, right? Text, and this is going to be primary, and we're going to give it a margin all around. This is going to be the M2. And over here, we're going to write, this is going to be area hidden, all right? Hidden over here. And once we have that, this is going to be set to true over here. And we close this one out, and we have our Facebook, right? And again, we just need to copy this one. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 5, right? And then we're just going to have to change some things around. So we have over here, the first one, Facebook, right? After that, we would want I believe Twitter, YouTube, Google, and what would be the last one over here? So if we delete this Facebook, right? And then we're going to start over here, but Twitter, and then we're going to say that this is going to be not Twitter. This is going to be Instagram over here. Then we're going to say this is LinkedIn. Where is our last LinkedIn? So this is going to be over here. This is going to be linked in, right? And then the last one, we would want a Google Plus. So we go somewhere, right? But we only created 4. So actually I should make one more. So we just copy this one, and we're going to say this is going to be Google Plus. Google, and over here we're going to write this is going to be Google Plus. So now that we're done with Font Awesome, we can check it out over here. The only difference is that I placed over here this text danger. So if we go over here back to the title, white, right? So we write text danger. And now we need to scroll all the way to the top and actually create a navbar. So let's do that. There's going to be quite a few classes, right? Because that's in a Bootstrap. That's an easy part of making navbar, but it's also quite a few classes, right? So the first one we're going to do is we're just going to say that this is going to be nav, and this is going to have a class, and over here we're going to write this is going to be navbar, and navbar expand, right? And this is just means at what point it's going to be turning into the actual toggle button, right? So navbar expand small, right? So I'm going to be doing this for a small screen, but we can do it for medium screen or whatever. And again, this is some of the classes. It's easier to show at the end. Primary, right? So this is going to be blue color, and navbar light, this is going to be just the text color. There's navbar light and navbar dark, right? And over here, we're going to say this is going to have padding of 3, and it's going to be fixed to the top, right? Fixed to top. Now that we are done with the navbar, we're actually ready to start placing a navbar brand over here, right? So this is going to be a navbar all the way on the top. Now, the first thing we would want to do is navbar brand. And in the navbar brand, we can place an image, or we can place actually in a link, or we can just place a text, right? So in this case, I'm just going to create a text, and I'm going to say this is going to be navbar and brand, right? This is going to be the class. And over here, we're going to href, and over here, I'm going to say this is going to be a brand name, right? So this is going to be brand name. Then we need to add a button, right? The one that's going to be toggling once we're actually expanding over here to this small screen. And so what we would need to do is I'm going to make a comment, and I'm going to say toggler over here, right? And let's say we're going to say button. And over here, we're just going to have to add a few more classes, right? So here we're just going to say this is going to be a button. And then we're going to say this is going to be class and navbar toggler class over here. Then I'm going to say type is going to be a button, right? Then we're going to use a data toggle attribute over here, and we're going to set it equal to collapse. And then we're going to say the data target, right? Target over here. We're going to say this is going to be equal to a nav, right? And this is going to be the name of ID that I'm going to be placing in my div. So this is really, I'm coming up with that one. And the last thing in the button, what we would want to put is actually a span. I'm going to write span. I'm going to write class, and over here we're going to say this is going to be navbar toggler, and we're going to say icon over here. And we were going to close it out, and now you can see it on small screen. I have my toggler icon. Now there's nothing in there because I haven't placed any links or anything like that. But the point is, you can see this expand class, right? Like that I was talking to you, like this navbar expand. So the moment I'm going to get to the small screen, right, the button shows up, right? The moment I'm bigger, then it's not there, right? So now that we're done with a button, what we can do right away is we can just say links, right? And these are going to be the links that we're actually placing. The first thing we're going to create is div, and we're going to say that this div is going to have a class, and it's going to be collapse, right? And we're going to say navbar collapse, and over here we're going to say justify content between, right? And this is another of those Flexbox properties, meaning that it's used by Bootstrap, right? But it's with a Bootstrap with Flexbox items, right? Over here, and I'm going to show you what it does at the end. And over here, it's just going to say ID, and I'm going to say nav, right? And the point of it that you can see that this ID obviously matches the same one over here. And now only thing we need to do is actually place the links and place the form inside here, all right? So over here, what we would do, we would say that first one we need is an ordered list class, and over here we're going to say navbar nav, right? Then we're going to have a list item, right, with a class of nav item, and then inside there we're going to have a href, like a link over here, and we're going to say that this link is going to have a class of nav link, right? So here we can say, I don't know, it can go to prices, right? But I'm just going to write home because I don't see really a big point of like going after skill. I mean, I can write skills, let's say, right? So this is going to be the first one, right? But let's say I'm going to write home. So I'm going to have skills, and let's just write home and be done with it, home. Okay, and over here I'm going to say that this is going to have a class, and I'm going to say that this is going to have a class of nav link. So now that we have that over here, we just write home. We can check it out what we have. Right. So first of all, my home is right here. Right. So that's the beginning. And if I go over here, it should actually work, right? So you can see that home is coming up, right? But that's the only thing that I have so far. So obviously I'm going to do this 1, 2. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it at 2. And here we can just change some stuff around. We can just say this is going to be skills, and this is going to be skills. And over here, what we're going to say that this is going to be, what was our third one? Skills, and this was about. Right, so here we're going to have about. Right, so now that we have 3 of them, then we would want to add a form, right? So still within this div, but not within this ULI. We're going to write this is going to be form class over here, and this is going to be form inline. Right, and then we're going to say that this is going to be a div class, and we're going to say this is going to be input, let's say group, right? And then within this input group, we're going to write that this is going to be input type, and we're going to say this is going to be text. Right, so we're going to say this is going to be text. And once we have the text, we're going to say class, and the class is going to be form control. And over here, we're going to say placeholder, and we're going to say search. And once we have that rolling, we would need to have a span where we're going to create over here this add-on, right? So here, what we're going to do is we're going to add a span, and we're going to say that this is going to have a class of input group add-on over here, and then we're going to close it out, and then over here we're going to place a font awesome, right? So we're going to have a class, search, and obviously over here also the area hidden, right? True. And we're just going to close this one out, and that should work for our navbar. And that's pretty much it, right? So coming back to this class, justify content between, right? Let's check it out what happens, right? But it is actually easier if we do it on a bigger screen, right? So if we just go over here, I don't think we're going to be able to see it, right? Or maybe we will, right? So, but in the larger screen, you could actually see it even better, right? So you can see over here this links and this form, right? So because it is treating it as a Flexbox, right, by design, if you're adding this class over here, let's say that I would write center, right? So again, this is going to be one of those Flexbox classes. Save it over here, and now let's check it out what happens, right? You can see that they're actually all in the center. These 3 and this form, right? But this it treats these 3 links like they would be one, like they would be one element, and like form would be one element, right? Because we can see over here within this div, we placed first the unordered list, and then it was the form, right? So it just thinks that there's these 2 elements, right? So you have option. You can have a, let's say, place them all the way to the left, place them all the way to the right, we can center, or we can have the space between or space around, right? So I just chose between, right? And that's how it looks. So basically, they have been pushed, both of them, all the way to each side, right? So there's always space between. If there would be space around, there would be some spaces around here. And this is going to be it for this project, guys. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next project.